Alright guys, so the HSR devs pretty much dropped a nuclear bomb this morning addressing all the issues players have with HSR version 3.0, and it was actually pretty good. Of course, we have to wait and see how effective these changes are going to be once they implement them in the game, so we shouldn't jump into any conclusions, but it is really good the fact that the devs are actually addressing these issues and they're coming with a solution. So the response that most people had under my video, pretty good. But of course, when it comes to Genshin Shills, how did they react to this? I had a lot of Genshin Shills come into my comment section saying crazy shit, but most of them, what they said is that Genshin Impact also had a developers discussion and they are also improving their game. I'm gonna put one comment right here for just to show you guys an example. This guy said, Genshin Impact, they have been improving their game since Fontaine. You heard him, guys. You heard him. They've been improving the game since Fontaine. And they've fixed their elixir system. So therefore, you shouldn't blindly hate on Genshin because they're improving the game. So you know exactly what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to check out the developers discussion for Genshin, right? We're going to check out the developers discussion. I have a checklist right over here. I'm going to put the checklist on my right and actually my left, right, whatever. I'm going to put the checklist right here. And if the devs don't address more than 5 issues I put in this checklist, this developers discussion is automatic bullshit and is fucking garbage, because these problems have been in the game for more than 3 years. They've been in the game for a long time, and players have been complaining about these issues for a while. Meanwhile, for HSR, Inforius has only been out for like 3 weeks, and the devs are already responding to players' feedback and their takes on version 3.0 for HSR. So we're going to go ahead and read this. Once again, if they don't address more than 5 issues, right? If they don't address at least 5 issues in this developers discussion, it's already fucking horrible. So let's read this. Developers discussion, January 22nd. Training guide upgraded again. No more getting lost when leveling characters, blah, 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 whatever. So, optimize character building experience. Training guide upgraded again. No more getting lost when leveling characters. I just read that. I don't know why I read that again. Brain dead. So, when we continue right here, it says, in the new version, the training guide is once again upgraded. You can now set up level up plans for characters to customize their unique level up targets. The system will automatically calculate the required materials and quantities and display the resource channels, providing a smoother and more efficient character building experience. Okay, so when we take a look at our checklist right here, so let me read this over for you guys real quick. So these are the problems I put. Materials locked behind a schedule. Number 2, RNG boss materials. Number 3, no skip button. Number 4, permanent combat events. Them not implementing, permanent combat events. Number 5, giving players the option to skip unnecessary dialogue. Number 6, putting a paywall for better exploration. Battling characters. Number 7, artifact loadouts. Number 8, the elixir system. 9, resin system. 10, lack of in-game content. 11, remove 50-50 from weapon banner. 12, addressing the Mavuika and Sidley situation. 13, better rewards. And 14, responds to Natlan feedback. There's more issues, but I'm just going to put 14 for now. So far, when I take a look at this first quote-unquote improvement, who the fuck asked for this? Like, all I see here is that they're pretty much saying that, hey, we're pretty much going to, make this like, we're gonna make the training guide more fancier. We're gonna make it look a lot more fancier for you guys, and we're gonna make it easier for you. Not really addressing these issues when it comes to materials locked behind a schedule. You see, whenever you're trying to build up your characters, you would have to, farm on a specific day to level up your characters. They didn't really address that. Instead, they're talking about a training guide. So automatically, this part right here, irrelevant, not really a good update. We continue. All around display of level up materials. So we're gonna come back over here to the checklist. We're still currently on number 1 right here. Materials locked behind the schedule. After setting up your level up plan, the main methods for obtaining materials needed to achieve your set targets will be prioritized in Adventure Handbook with unique markers. Oh wow, we have markers now. Really, really good. Corresponding unique markers will also appear on interfaces commonly used for obtaining level up materials such as battle pass rewards and domain entrances. Absolutely fucking peak, man. This is literally what we wanted in a game. Like, this is literally what we wanted. We wanted a marker. We literally wanted a marker. We didn't need, them to remove the, schedule that's locking players from, grinding for materials to level up their characters. We didn't need that. We wanted markers. Bullshit. So this part right here, nobody asked for this. We're automatically gonna scratch that out. Keep in mind, guys, we look at our checklist. Not a single thing has been addressed so far. And this is why I say this. When you look at all these improvements, these are things that players did not ask for. Instead of the devs actually focusing on things that players want in the game, they're like, nah, we're going to implement other things that are completely irrelevant and you guys don't even need these improvements in the game. That's the main issue, and this is proof. So we continue. Some commonly used interfaces will now display resin count, so you won't need to switch between between interfaces repeatedly to check. They got to be trolling at this point. They have to be trolling. So they already know that a lot of people have been complaining about the resin system for a long time. The fact that condensed resin is capped at 5 and you can't even go above 5 condensed resin, like the fact that you can't even collect condensed resin, but you look at HSR and Woowa where you can actually collect, their, I don't know what they're called, but like you can collect their their own version of condensed resin so that whenever you want to use them, you can like use, let's say, 20 condensed resin, or you can use 15 condensed resin. The fact that condensed resin is capped at 5 and you can't go above that is fucking retarded. And of course, when it comes to the resin system itself, the fact that there isn't like an AFK system where if you're not playing the game for, let's say, 3 days, then you can store that resin, and then when you log back into the game, you're gonna have like 2,000 resin, which is very similar to HSR in Wuthering Waves. The fact that they're saying, all right, instead of us giving you guys, instead of us enhancing the resin system and making it a lot better, we're just gonna show you the resin count interface. We're gonna show you the resin count display in multiple interfaces. We're gonna show it to you in a training guide, adventure handbook, and domain entrances. We're just gonna shove it in your faces that we're never fixing this fucking problem. And look at Paimon's face right here. Like, this is literally trolling, bro. And remember, guys, not a single issue is scratched off this list. Not a single issue. Let's keep going. Timely collection progress reminder. While collecting level up materials, real-time notifications will show your progress, helping you determine whether you have achieved your targets, set targets at any time. So as you guys can see here, we still have the schedule that's locking materials, and you can't farm them anytime you want. So the fact that they circled this irrelevant part right here, level up requirements 5 out of 8, meanwhile you have this fucking schedule, like, they're trolling, bro. They are actually trolling. They're actually trolling. Like, they're literally putting all the issues that we have with this game, they're putting it in our faces, and they're just like, yeah, we're just not going to fix that. Instead, we're just going to add other things into the game. Absolutely ridiculous. So once again, the timely collection progress reminder, fucking useless. I mean, who asked for this? I don't know who asked for this. Nobody asked for this shit. But let's keep going. Material sorting display optimized for easier understanding. This is amazing, man. This is absolutely amazing. Starting from version 5.4, some interfaces will prioritize higher rarity level up materials, making it easier to find the necessary drop information. So, instead of you, right, whenever you're trying to look for, farm for artifacts, we're not gonna put the 5-star artifacts, all the way in the back. This time, we're going to take the 5-star artifacts and put them up front so that you guys can see it. Peak change. This is exactly what we asked for. This is fucking stupid. This is absolutely ridiculous. And remember That one person who comments under the video saying they're improving the game, they're adding things that most player wanted in the game. Who the fuck asked for this? Who asked for this? Who asked for them to change the position of artifacts? Like, keep in mind, guys, they're only going to implement changes that nobody asked for. Because this right here, material sorting display optimized for easier understanding. Why the fuck are you guys putting in these changes when nobody is asking for this in the first place? Aren't you guys going to address artifact loadouts? Aren't you guys going to address Spiral Abyss and how it's pretty much lame as fuck and you guys need to add more content, right? Aren't you guys going to address the weapon banner not having a 50-50? Aren't you guys going to talk about, you know, players who are not satisfied with Natlin? Aren't you guys going to address the Mavwika and Silly situation? No, instead we're going to talk about artifact displays and put them in a better spot so that you guys can understand what's going on. Incredible. We continue. Weapon interface optimization. We added a recommended secondary attributes function. This is crazy. To help you quickly find weapons suitable for your current character starting from version 5.4, you can use the filter function in the weapon interface to check weapon secondary attributes that best suit your current character. Wow. Amazing. This is what we've been asking for a very long time. We haven't been asking for artifact loadouts, right? We haven't been asking for that for 3 years, right? Instead, recommended secondary attributes. This is what we've been asking for. Let's continue more, man. One-click weapon refinement. After the new version update, an auto-add button will be added to the weapon refinement interface, allowing for the one-click addition of refinement materials or identical weapons, making things much more convenient for... Guys, what the fuck am I reading right now? Is this even a dev note? It's like, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they put a change where they said you'll be able to see characters breathe in the game, because these are literally mediocre improvements, mediocre changes that nobody asked for. Mediocre improvements. And keep in mind, all the Genshin shows saying they're improving the game. That one Genshin show saying they've been improving this game since Fontaine. What is this? You see this is an improvement right here. Character interface optimization. Fear not. Starting for version 5.4, the developers will add to keyboard and mouse mode a feature to filter characters based on their elemental types, allowing you to find characters more easily and efficiently by selecting their Yo, I can't take this seriously, guys. I can't. The checklist hasn't changed at all. There's not one single thing that's been scratched off this checklist. Everything is still here. They haven't addressed one single issue that most players have with this game. They're literally yapping at this point. They're talking about things that nobody asked for in this game. The fact that they are trolling, they're talking about filter, right? You guys are talking about filters. Meanwhile, you're ignoring artifact loadouts. Absolutely insane. In addition, you can quickly switch characters through the filter function on the character level up interface to make things easier. Oh man, Serenity of Teapot. Now they're updating this fucking what was that game called again? It was like that Disney game. I forgot what it's called. Fucking Minecraft mode. A new Tubby Tap, which honestly, I don't really care about Serenity Teapot. I don't really care about that. Like, wait, there's no fucking way that's it, right? There's no fucking way. Let's read this last part. Since the launch of Sanctifying Elixir, we have closely monitored all feedback about the resource. To provide a better level up experience for you, we will optimize the mechanics of Sanctifying Elixir from version 5.5 onwards. Starting from version 5.5, when using Sanctifying Elixir to define artifacts, the defined minor affixes will be guaranteed to receive at least 2 enhancements when enhanced to level 20, thus improving your character building efficiency. So when it comes to the elixir system, this is like literally the only thing. Like, this is literally the only meaningful improvement I've seen in this entire fucking dev note. This is insane. So when it comes to elixir system, they're still not fixing the problem, right? Sure, you're gonna get, guaranteed, you're pretty much going to get at least 2 enhancements. So let's say you want to get crit rate or crit damage, you're gonna get at least 2 upgrades for crit rate and crit damage. Okay, that's good, but the problem is still there. And which problem am I talking about? The fact that the only way you can get elixirs is through the battle pass, and you can only get 1 elixir per month. So you're sacrificing a lot of 5-star artifacts just to get 1 elixir, and on top of that, they don't give elixirs in events. You look at HSR, they give elixirs, they give their custom artifact materials in events. We have an event in the game right now that's giving the materials you need to create your own custom artifact. Meanwhile, for Genshin, it's like, okay, in order for you to even get elixirs in the first place, you would literally have to buy the battle pass to get sanctifying elixirs. You don't put elixirs in events. So it is still an issue because it's really hard to get these sanctifying elixirs. So they're not really addressing the whole issue. Sure, this is definitely an improvement, but the issue still remains. Sanctifying elixir, the only way you can get this is through the battle pass. That's the only way you can get this. And sacrificing like 50 5-star artifacts just to get 1 sanctifying elixir for like 1 month. It's still a bad system. This is such a half-ass dev note, man. Such a half-ass dev note. The fact that it took them 4 updates to realize that sanctifying elixir is not good and they need to improve it is crazy. And they didn't even solve the entire issue. Like, it's still an issue. Like, not being able to get sanctifying elixir through events is still a problem. They didn't even address that. Like, this is a portion of the issue. Sanctifying elixir is still a problem because you can't even get it through events. You have to buy the battle pass, and then you can only get 1 elixir per month. It's still a problem, right? We look at Amphorius. Amphorius has been in the game for like 3 weeks, and the devs already address most of the issues players have with Amphorius. It took the devs 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks to respond to their players. Meanwhile, for Genshin devs, it took them 4 fucking months. 4 months. Talk about one small problem in Genshin. In the grand scheme of things, sanctifying elixir is one of many issues in Genshin Impact. We look at this checklist. There are so many more problems in this game. There's probably like 85 issues in this game. Like, the issues in Genshin Impact just keep stacking every update, right? And the fact that they released a dev note, like, they released like 5 pages. I think this is like 5 or 6 pages or 7 pages, and only 1 page was worth reading. Absolutely insane. And then we take a look at the response here. Oh my gosh, here we go, guys. This is peak. No more scam. Let's go. Realize how bro literally screenshotted. He screenshotted 1 page out of like, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's like 4 pages. Realize how bro screenshotted 1 page throughout this entire dev note. He screenshotted 1 small little paragraph and labeled this entire dev note as peak. Holy fucking shit, man. And let's continue, bro. Guaranteed 2 enhancements, holy, but artifact loadouts where? Somebody's asking the real questions here. Oh, this is the same guy. What is his response? I think they're genuinely trying to implement it, but due to the base coding, they have to recode and code again everything without the game breaking. However, I think they're bringing these useless artifact loadout to make a new code base for the actual loadout. By the way, I'm speaking from experience of coding games privately. All right, so whenever I read comments like this, as soon as I see the word as soon as I see the word think, I automatically disregard what that person says, because you pretty much just admitted that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, sure, you have experience, but you saying that you think, you don't have any evidence to prove that that's the reason why the devs can't implement an artifact loadout in the game. You mean to tell me that a multi-billion-dollar company, them being able to create Natlan, Fontaine, Sumeru, Inazuma, Leeway, Mondstadt, an open world gacha game, an open world action RPG game, right? On console, PC, mobile, You mean to tell me their greatest obstacle is an artifact loadout? That's their greatest obstacle. 4 years, and they still can't implement an artifact loadout. Just coping, man. Like, the coping is insane from this community, bro. Like, the coping is just next fucking level. Next level, man. These responses are kind of crazy. But yeah, guys, I mean, hey, I tried. I tried. For all the Genshin shills out there saying that I'm hating on Genshin Impact, I'm not giving it a chance, bro. I literally just read this thing. I read this developer's discussion. I read it. I have a checklist. I said, hey, if they at least mention 5 issues on this checklist, 5 problems, if they at least address these issues, then it's a good developer's discussion. And they couldn't even fucking do that. It's dog shit. But there are some people who actually have common sense though in this community. Like, you guys can see that, like, I won't say when it comes to the Genshin community, it's not every player. That's why whenever I talk about Genshin Impact, I always say Genshin shills. I never say Genshin players. Sometimes I do, but whenever I'm talking about, the toxic side of Genshin Impact, I mostly mention Genshin shills, right? I mostly mention them. But this guy says the only change that is truly useful is the last one. Exactly, man. Like, this entire dev note is just half-ass. It's a half-ass dev note. Half-ass. I want more male characters. Alright, bro, whatever, man. I'm not reading the rest of that. This is still catered to new players, useless to old players who are loyal to the game. And please stop using provide better gaming experience. It's so irritating. You see, there is some common sense. Some common sense in the community, but it's not too common. It is not common whatsoever. And look at this. There it is. What do you mean? These changes affects all groups of players. Oh my fucking goodness, bro. Oh my gosh, guys. This is unbelievable, bro. This is unbelievable. Corporate worshiping, it's a universal concept at this point, right? It's a universal concept. Movies, shows, games, whenever a company is involved, corporate worship will always be a thing. People will always incentivize these developers to half-ass their product because they just worship these companies for some odd fucking reason. But overall, this dev note for Genshin, absolute dog shit. By far one of the worst dev notes I've ever seen in my fucking life, because they didn't mention anything meaningful, anything impact. Like, there's nothing impactful about this dev note whatsoever, except the last part. But it's not even that crazy. It's not even that crazy. Absolute garbage. Like, this was like a waste of time. And keep in mind that one comment I just showed. They've been improving the game since Fontaine. I guess them adding an auto add button is improvements. Like, I don't know what to say at this point. You guys are just willing to accept mediocre updates. And that's the reason why the devs just refuse to update the game. But anyways, tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm sorry, man. That was a horrible dev note, man. That was a waste of time. I can't believe I read through that shit. I could have done something more I could have done something more meaningful versus reading that fucking dog shit dev note. That was fucking atrocious.